Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Holla. All right, I'm back, guys. StreamYard got me for the copyright. I forgot to say fair use and put the fair use on the screen, and they got me. Oh, goodness. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to continue the stream, but this time I am going to just play audio. I'm not going to show the actual footage on the screen, so you guys will hear it, but you will not be seeing it. So the visual aid won't be there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put a, let's see if I can find a thumbnail that I can use. You gotta, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Hold on a second. Yeah, they got me, guys. They got me bad. Hey, Raining. Yeah, Demetrius, them sad. And she's 30 now, and I'm going to start at that point, and then we're going to take it from there.
No, more naive. And at the time, we had already taken it to the next step. This was about 3 months, maybe 3.5 months, meaning we had been intimate. And I was upset, but I was young. So I kind of fell for a lot of the tactics that he used. He's a little bit older than I am. Saying that he didn't tell me he was married because he didn't know how I was going to react. He had already really enjoyed us being around each other and speaking all the time. And he has a condo downtown, and I visited there a few times in our initial, dating. And nothing about the condo said married man.
But you were suspicious. It didn't really look lived in.
Right. But he has, the maker was by, so I mean, yeah, it was like a crash pad. But when you actually, start snooping and you see there's not many clothes in the closet and it's always as impeccable, then I chopped it up to, okay, maybe, the maid just comes more frequently than people typically, would have them come. So I did know he's a playboy. So I just took it as, he probably has several girlfriends. He probably has, maybe even a serious girlfriend. But I didn't take it as that he had a wife because he had too much freedom. He had too much free time with me.
And he flew you around. You went to Vegas,
together,
you went to Florida, you went different places.
Yeah, you know what? Now let me stop there from where she said that she didn't know that he was a married man because he had too much freedom. This is true. There are a lot of guys that you would not know that they were married, especially because of the type of jobs that they have. There's a lot of guys like truck drivers. If you're a woman and you're in a relationship with a truck drivers are gone from home all the time. So it's nothing suspicious or unusual to their family that they're not in the home because their job kind of has them being over the road and gone. So they can have women from city to city, state to state. Or you have the traveling businessman. I met a guy one time. He was a traveling accountant. And he actually lived in Atlanta and he came to Chicago. And I mean, when I met him, he was, presenting like he was single and didn't have a family and none of that type of stuff. But he was away, on a business trip. So a lot of these guys that have jobs where they're able to travel and just, be in different places, hey, they're able to do that and they're able to covertly lie to these women and make it seem as if, hey, I'm an available man, I'm digging you, and they'll have you on a string for years and years. That's the reason why it's important as women that we set boundaries. It's important that we as women, we have it where we have a time frame. So if you've been dating a guy and it's in 6 months has gone past and you guys have not started talking about marriage, like the conversation about marriage hasn't even come up, I would say it's time to move on. This guy is not trying to get with you and be with you for the long term. Because men know right away the women that they want to marry. Usually, if they're excited about you within the first 3 months, they're talking about marriage. They're looking at engagement rings. They're taking you over to the mall or the place that has the rings. What do you call it? Zales or whatever. They're going to take you over there. They're going to start fitting your hand. They're going to be when you're sleeping, you're going to see them fiddling around with your finger because they're thinking about marrying you. And this is within the first 3 months. So if 6 months has gone past, no marriage talk, dump him. Dump him. And definitely at the 1 year mark. Hey, if you're not engaged by the 1 year mark, dump him. Get rid of him. He's wasting your time. But let me continue.
Down in South Africa, we've gone lots of places together.
Does she pay you?
Coming up.
If I was being a kept woman, I would feel like a paid hooker.
This is the place that my married boyfriend pays for. Should I be sleeping with this married man and at the end of the day, he goes home to the big old pretty mansion and I'm at home in this little bitty shack with rags?
Are you selling him something?
I'm not a whore.
Liar.
Back it up.
Liar.
And later.
The first time the married man and I made love was in a car.
Did you think to yourself, this is another woman's husband?
Thursday. The
All right, they're going to go
family
through all these
returns.
here.
Welcome to my home. This is the place
Okay, I sped it
that
up for
my
you guys.
married boyfriend actually pays for. I did request that he
Fair
retain
use.
an interior designer. I love my kitchen. This is one of the reasons why I begged this man to get me this place. This is the bedroom. This is where my lover and I spend some very nice moments together. My lover and I do a lot of relaxing here. It's my soaps, his soaps. So when he goes home,
At least I know the apartment that my husband got his girlfriend is a dump.
I have things in here my married boyfriend paid for. The Chanel, the Fendi, the Tory Burch, the Betsy Johnson. This is a Louis Vuitton complete set. A whole different way of traveling. He spent several thousand on that.
She's addicted.
So you guys can't see, but she's showing a closet full of clothes in her apartment that her married man has paid for. She's got Chanel, she's got Louis Vuitton, she's got all these name brands, whole luggage sets, clothes, you name it. And he's paying also for the condo that she's living in. So she's saying that she's not a prostitute, she's not a whore, but there she is. That you're getting something in exchange for being with this man. That would be a prostitute and a whore man. And it's really interesting because you guys cannot see what I'm actually looking at. It's really, really interesting that the other side chick that we heard from earlier that was interviewing the guy and asked whether or not, he would sleep with her if he can get away with it. She's interjecting in the middle of this woman's story and saying, if I was getting paid to have sex with the guy, I would not feel right about that. This is the same chick earlier when I was telling you guys that she was having sex with the guy in the car and all he was giving her was a box of chocolates. You giving BJs in the car, you having sex with him in the car, you're giving hand jobs in the car, and all he's giving you is chocolates. I actually have more respect for the other woman that's actually getting money. At least she has a condo, a car, name brand labels in her closet. At least she has her bills paid. She has all of that. At least you, ma'am, you can't even talk. You should not even be talking about something. Oh, I would feel horrible if I was getting paid. Please. I mean, I don't like the fact that these women are sleeping with married men, period. But obviously, if you're gonna do something like that, at least make it worth your while. She at least has something to show for it. But let's continue.
It's the money.
It was more than I could afford. Every month, my boyfriend gives me $2,000 to spend as I please. This is just some of the things that he's given me. Here's my prized one so far, my Hermes Birkin bag. I would never spend my money on bags that expensive. My married boyfriend gave me this CLK as an early birthday present as a result of my giving him the cold shoulder. The ultimate advantage is I don't have...
Okay, her married man boyfriend, that she keeps referring to him as, bought her a CLK. This, you guys cannot see it, but it is a drop top Mercedes. All right, she is getting money. She's getting her house paid for, a $3,000 allowance. She got a Birkin bag. Do you guys know how much Birkin bags cost? I don't know if he bought her the knockoff. I don't know if she knows the difference. But yeah, she's getting some. The other lady just said that she got a box of chocolate for giving head in the back of the car. I don't know. Let's see. Box of chocolate, Mercedes Benz. Decisions. Oh, what's up, Woman Sphere? She says, I could never do a married man. I ain't messing with God like that. Girl, you and I both. I do not believe in messing with nobody's marriage. Not even jokingly. But I'm just highlighting the difference because these are two mistresses that we've heard so far on Dr. Fields. And you guys are getting my reaction because I'm hearing this stuff just the same way as you guys are hearing it. I heard the first mistress say, hey, I got a box of chocolate for head in the back of the car. And I hear the second mistress say, I got $3,000 allowance, a condo, and a Mercedes. I think the second mistress is winning. I think the second mistress is actually winning. But let's continue.
Be married to him and deal with his... Yet I still reap a lot of the benefits that the wife does.
You just went to a plastic surgeon yesterday?
Yes.
To do what?
Getting some stuff done.
That he offered to pay for?
I told him I wanted some lipo and some other stuff. So he'll pay for it if I'm still dealing with him.
If somebody paid for that much stuff and I was intimate with them and I'm not married to him, I'd feel like a hooker. What does he think about you being on the show?
He doesn't know.
What if he finds out?
I'm not saying his name.
Right, but I mean, what if he finds out?
I don't care.
I mean, you can call it what you want, but I mean, the guy is paying you. And you have a great problem with women that do that. You don't like the kept women.
No, I don't have a problem with them.
Okay, well, let's take a look at what you had to say.
If I was being a kept woman.
Okay, so this is the first mistress. Hypocrite, but let's hear what she has to say.
Get taken on trips.
And I'm not married to him, I'd feel like a hooker. What does he think about you being on the show?
He doesn't know.
What if he finds out?
I'm not saying his name.
Right, but I mean, what if he finds out?
I don't care.
I mean, you can call it what you want, but I mean, the guy is paying you. And you have a great problem with women that do that. You don't like the kept women.
No, I don't have a problem with them.
Okay, well, let's take a look at what you had to say.
If I was being a kept woman, I would feel cheap and like I was using him. Some of these women are put up in apartments, are given a spending allowance, get taken on trips. I would feel more like a call girl or a paid hooker.
Okay.
Apartment, spending allowance, and trips. He pays for your apartment, spending allowance, and takes you on trips.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. The first mistress is hating. It sounds to me like there's some hating going on amongst the mistresses. Now, I don't condone any woman getting with married men, sleeping with in a relationship. I don't care if it's for monetary gain, emotional gain, whatever you think you're gaining. I don't condone it. However, I also don't condone being completely stupid. Okay? There's stupid and then there's completely stupid. Now, it's stupid in the first place to be dealing with a married man. That's number one. It is completely stupid. Yes, Amanique, it's better to be paid than to give it for free to marry people. That is the completely dumb part of it. It's all stupid. Because in the end, they're all losing. But I would rather be the side chick with the condo, the Mercedes, and all that other stuff, and the $3,000 allowance than this chick that got a box of chocolate for giving top in the backseat of his car. I would rather be the other chick. But let's continue.
You'd feel like a paid hooker. I'm not saying you're.
I gotta respond to that. A couple things. I have businesses that bring in over 6 figures a year. Yep. You know, so that little $4,000 is nothing. It's just money I get to put in my account to save. And
but then it should be easy to cut them off.
Should I just be sleeping with them and go to bed on myself, lonely, crying at night? And if his wife has a $3 million house, you know, and he's doing all these things as a provider for his wife, if I'm going to be in his life, I'm going to learn how to build myself up. Whatever I can save, I'm going to save. I'm going to stash. At the end of the day, you know, when we're 7 years old and, you know, if I never get married, at least I know, you know, I'll be okay. You know, I won't be with him that long, of course. But
I see you and I sort of in similar situations because we're emotionally so connected to these men.
I'm not in love with my man.
You're not in love with him? Okay.
We have a good friendship. I'm not in love with my man.
But if you're not in love with him, you're wise.
So the side chick that gets paid to be with a man, she's in it for the money. She says she's not in love with him. So if the money stopped, she stopped. That's what I'm hearing. But let's continue.
Hard to break away from him. But I mean, I'm sitting here going, if I'm going to go through the hell I'm going through, you know, emotionally in this and not able to break free, pay me something.
She should just feel like an unpaid homewrecker.
I mean, I don't want to build it over.
So are you selling him something?
I'm not selling him anything.
Well, then what are you getting paid for?
Yeah, what are you getting paid
I'm
for?
not getting paid. He's providing something for me.
Well, you call him for. He's paying your rent, and he's giving you $2,000 a month. You're getting paid.
Okay.
For what?
Sex.
You're in business. You have consideration. And when somebody pays, they get something in return.
Should I be sleeping with this married man? And
Okay, so they're sitting here trying to figure out what she's getting paid for. And I know that the easy answer is she's getting paid to have sex with him. That's the easy answer. But she's so delusional, she doesn't really think she's getting paid. She just says that she's getting gifts. She looks at what she's getting as gifts. And then she further puts her foot in her mouth and says, but she's also not in love with him, but she also can't break away from him. This woman is in denial. I think she's on the show trying to save face because deep down, she knows how stupid she looks. She looking real dumb right now. And she said earlier that she's getting the same privileges as the wife. Deep down, because she's doing all this emotional flip-flopping right before my eyes as I'm watching this show and as you guys are listening along with me, she's doing a lot of emotional flip-flopping. Because deep down inside, she knows she has feelings for this man. That's the reason why it's hard for her to break away. And whatever money she's getting from these alleged businesses that she had, it wasn't enough for her to have enough self-esteem to leave that married man alone. Earlier, she said she had even found a boyfriend and everything. So even with her having her own money and the ability to find another man, she still made a beeline back to the married man that she claims she's not even in love with, and she's still in it for 6 years. She's delusional. Exactly. Amanique says, no denial. She knows. Hatch Dragon says his DNA imprint. I believe in that imprinting, y'all. I think the imprinting is a thing. I think because when a man puts his DNA inside of a woman sexually, that DNA stays in you for a while. For a while. I think in that case where Kobe Bryant had that rape case, the woman had actually slept with not Kobe. Was it Kobe? I'm trying to remember which basketball player that had that rape case against them, but the woman that alleged that he raped her then turned around and slept with another man. So they found 2 different types of semen samples in her vagina. She had actually slept with her boyfriend 3 days prior to sleeping with the famous star. So if that DNA can be left in your vagina for days on end, that's imprinting. And yes, imprinting was real. Oh, it was Kobe Bryant. Thank you, just a regular guy. It was Kobe. So you got 2 different types of DNA. The first guy's DNA was there for 3 days. And this is a wake-up call to you men, by the way, that like to deal with filthy whores and y'all don't like to use condoms. If you know that this woman is a woman that sleeps around, just know that when you're sticking your penis in that vagina, there may be some semen in there that's been sitting around from another man that she was just with a day ago, a week ago, however many days ago. Especially if this is a woman that's in a relationship with someone. So you all are nasty. Long story short, y'all nasty. So if you're a guy that gets with women and you know that the woman's in a relationship already and you're putting your penis up in there too, all 3 of y'all done slept together. You done slept with her and every other man that she slept with. And looking at the article, I just pulled the article up. She actually had 3 different streams of semen in her vagina. So that's super nasty. But anyway, I'm going to continue to play.
Worry about scrunching up my money to pay my bills while he comes over, while we spend all this time together, while I may sleep with him, I may hear all his problems and pet his head. And at the end of the day, he goes home to the big old pretty mansion, and I'm at home in this little bitty shack with rags. That's crazy.
So you're selling him sex?
I'm not selling
time,
him sex.
Companionship?
I'm not selling him that. He offered that, and I'm going to take it. I didn't go to him and say, hey, if I'm with you, you pay me this. I'm getting that. I'm getting that.
Well, you said, should I do that for free? You're saying, should I do that for free?
Should I do that without having some kind of
payment?
And no, I'm not saying payment. That sounds very, very whorish. And I do not want to be painted in that light because I'm not a whore. So
whoa.
Liar. Back it up.
Liar.
And that's not fair to even make that kind of title.
So she's getting $3,000 a month. The condo paid for, a Mercedes. She's got Birkin bags. She's got Louis Vuitton luggage. She's got all this expensive stuff, and she's not a whore. The delusion. And like I said, the reason why this man is with her, sex is only part of it. Once again, shout out to Reaction Satisfaction, also known as Commendable K, that broke down the difference between the business side and the fun side. but he's with her for the fun side. Sex is part of the fun, but also the other part of the fun is just being able to be with someone and not have to think of the business side, period, when you're with that person. And when that man is with his wife and with his kids and with his family, he's only thinking about the business side with her. So he's like this, like Ghost is on the stream with Angela, with his side chick. But he's like Ghost with Tasha. This is how Ghost looks at Tasha. Hold on a second. Where's that picture? Yeah, this is him with his wife. This is him with his wife. So when he's with that side chick, the sex is better because he doesn't have to worry about nothing else with the side chick. Just fun, fun, fun. And that's what she stands for. She stands for the fun side. The business side is over there with his wife and the kids and his family and her family and the bills and the house and the properties and the business. All of that is not fun for him. You, on the other hand, you're detached from all of that. That's the only reason why he's there, because you're detached from all that business stuff. But I'll continue.
For anyone when they don't have that kind of arrangement.
But he expects something in return.
Right.
If she just walked away and said goodbye, would he follow her and say, "If you have it anyway"?
Would you like to know what I think?
Coming up.
The first time the married man and I made love was in a car. I didn't waste time opening my door and going through the back door. I just jumped through the middle.
Has this been what you would call a seedy affair?
And later.
They see you, right, and they want you, and they'll do whatever they can until they get caught. And then you're like a leper.
All this May.
All right, I'm going to go fast forward through this commercial.
She's had lice. She's had a book bag with would make looking at a situation where some guy comes in, has a sexual relationship with someone, pays the rent, buys some stuff, takes them on trips, goes around. I mean, it is what it is.
What I was talking about in something like that is not where a strong woman is trying to build herself. And she is. She's a strong woman. You can see it. And she is building her empire. I, on the other hand, right now, am trying to prove something to myself. I stayed in a very demeaning marriage for 20 years.
So you see, she's trying to even the score.
Do it on my own. I am proving it to myself.
So you're trying to build yourself up by sneaking around with somebody else's husband every Friday. You say you straddle him at lunch.
We sit
hell does that
next to each other. He'll sit on the stool, and I sit like this, and we talk.
Yeah.
Okay? Not, oh, I'm on his lap and like a dog. No, it's just a form of intimacy, a way of being close.
And that builds you up how?
He's not part of my building me up.
Okay, so this is a mistress that's in it for emotional gain. The second mistress that we just heard about, she was in it for financial gain. This woman is talking about emotional gains. So she's saying, so Dr. Phil is saying that this man builds her up, and he's talking about emotionally. Because you can tell, and you guys cannot see her. I think you guys saw her in the first clip when I played the first video. But she's a Caucasian woman, red hair, older. Like she looks like she's about 50, but they look old. And she's a little chubby. She's a little chubby, chunky there. So she has low self-esteem. And so this is the reason why this is the one that was giving blowjobs in the back of the car for a box of chocolates, talking about, oh, she wouldn't feel right having sex with a guy for money. No man would pay her for sex. That's why she wouldn't feel comfortable. Now, if she was pretty enough and the man would give her money, I don't think that she would turn it down. But because this is not the case, she's sitting here trying to downplay what she's doing. And she's also in denial. The second lady's in denial because she doesn't think she's a whore. This woman's in denial because she doesn't think that she's using these guys as an emotional crutch because she's a little older, she's a little bit more unattractive, and she has low self-esteem. But let's keep going.
I work with probably 1,000 men, and I can't count how many of these men are flagrant philanderers. Flagrant. And then I cannot keep count of how many of these men I listen to piss and moan about how they get like on 4 special occasions a year. Woohoo! My birthday, I'm gonna get hooked up tonight. You know what? I was that wife.
What would you do if you met his wife?
I'm gonna tell her, you need to go talk about this with your husband. This is between you two.
She's going to say, no, it was between me and my husband until you asked him if he would have sex with you.
I'm sorry, but takes 2 people to make the marriage work.
You ladies have mirrors. You know that you are all attractive.
Not all.
You know that you are socially marketable. Right? I mean, you can find men to date to have experiences with. Why are you choosing a married man?
For me, it wasn't the fact that he's married. I am in no way, shape, or form attracted to married men. That does not turn me on. It was the person. It was the fact that I had a connection with him. It was the comfort, the fact that we shared the same values growing up. I was not fulfilled in my marriage before I started the affair. I came across the married man's profile on Facebook. That's how it started. 4 months.
Okay, so now this next mistress is actually a married woman who made herself a side piece to a married man because she says she was not fulfilled in her marriage. And this is the reason why she stepped out on her marriage to become a side chick. So you got a whole bunch of different scenarios going on here. So let's hear her story.
Later, this emotional affair became a physical affair. My first date with my married boyfriend, I was so excited I can't even just beyond words. I feel butterflies. I had just looked forward to this for so long. I knew that we would make love. I was completely obsessed. If he wanted to talk, I would run to the computer. In fact, I would not leave my house in case he did. I would put off running errands, running to the grocery store, doing things I needed to do for my kids just so that I would be there when he did want to talk. My husband would be standing and have a pair of binoculars. I had no idea he would be looking through these windows and he could zoom in right here on the screen. It's not like I sat down and told him the whole thing, that he knows everything. He found it all out somehow. I just basically told him. I can't lie about it. I've done all the things to free myself to be available for him, and he's done nothing. How much longer am I going to continue this? And, what if I wake up and I'm 50 years old and I'm still waiting on him?
She looks like she's 50. Oh, God. Y'all,
you left your husband for your married man.
I did.
And so I assume he promptly left his wife and y'all are living happily ever after behind a picket fence?
No. That's
well,
not great.
how'd that work out?
He's still in his marriage. His life is totally unchanged. My life is totally nothing the same. And he's still in his marriage, promising, stalling, changing the excuse why he can't leave.
Has this been what you would call a seedy affair?
What do you mean?
Well, let's take a look.
The first time the married man and I made love was in a car. We became very excited and pulled into the parking lot.
Another one having sex in the car. And now she's saying that her marriage ended, by the way. Her husband found out about the affair and left her. See, ladies, y'all need to learn from men. Men are not going to sit up here and forgive and wait years and years and years and hold on. They're going to get the hell away from you immediately. They're not going to waste not one more minute of their time dealing with you. And they're not going to even take the kids into consideration. Staying together for the kids is not even in the question for men. So she said that his life didn't change, though. He's still with his wife. He's still, the married man. He's holding on, trying to make excuses as to why he haven't left, because now she's free and clear. When she started this relationship with this married boyfriend of hers, they call them their married boyfriends. When she started the relationship, she was also married. So he didn't think that there was any danger of her wanting him to leave his wife. But when her husband left her, now it's kind of like, uh-oh. She's like, yeah, she's putting the pressure on him. Hey, my man left me. Your turn. He's not going to return the favor, hon. He's not going to leave his wife. You're the done. You're the one that's losing out. And like I said earlier, and I'm going to keep saying it, side chicks always lose. Always. So the first scenario was the woman with low self-esteem giving blowjobs in the car for a box of chocolates. Second scenario was the woman in it for monetary gains, but then she caught feelings, and now she's in denial about the feelings, and now she's been in it for 6 years, wasting her youth. She was young when it started. Now she's 30 and still wasting her time in it. And now we got this chick who was married, lost her husband, lost her family, and now she wants him to leave his wife the way her husband left her, and he's not doing that. Lessons. Y'all get the message in this. Anybody that wants to be a side chick, it don't sound like they winning over here. Low self-esteem, lost time, lost marriages, and it's all on the losing end of the women. The women are losing here. The mistresses. But I'll continue.
A medical facility and had sex in the car. I was just like, oh my gosh, and he was, oh my gosh, and I didn't waste time opening my door and going through the back door. I just jumped through the middle. It was intense and exciting and crazy. He gave me a kiss I'll never forget. The moonlight was shining through a tree right above us. It was the most passionate kiss either one of us have ever had. Both of us were very fulfilled and satisfied, and it was everything and more of what we expected.
Okay. You said the first time we made love was in the back of the car in a parking lot. That's not making love. Come on.
Well, it is.
That's sex.
Okay, because the way
in the back of a car in a parking lot.
I understand
like
that.
Where people can knock on the window. Excuse me, lady.
I understand that, but it was very different for us because we had many months of an emotional.
Sure, is always different for the side chick. Oh.
Affair. He lives in another state of connecting emotionally and planning and just, more than just sex. It just so happened that first time that we were able to see each other, we got in the car, left the first party we were at to go to another party, and just the excitement, passion of everything we had experienced and talked about online and through phone conversations up to
but
that
that's
point.
Lust, not love.
I understand that. It was a very lustful situation.
Okay, but when I'm just asking you, this is what I think people want to know.
Mm-hmm.
You said you didn't even take time to get out of the car and go around to the back seat. You crawled through to get back. Any time during that, did you think to yourself, this is another woman's husband?
Coming up.
The affair is over because I came on the show.
You don't believe he's quitting you over this. You know that phone will ring again, and when it does, what are you going to do? Right back in the back seat. You know it as well as I do.
And later.
Did you ever meet his wife?
So I got punched in the face by her, actually.
If you didn't get caught, you'd still be in it.
Yes, I would.
We now return to Inside the Mind of a Mistress.
Anytime during that, did you think to yourself, this is another woman's husband?
No.
I'm here.
No way.
She didn't have any thought in her head about anything.
She thought this is going to be great. I didn't.
The other
my
wives
marriage,
are listening.
for me, lacked passion. And all of a sudden, when I reconnected with this man, he brought that out in me. I discovered something about myself that I totally needed to discover, and realized that I am a very sexual person. So this was a very...
It's easy to be charming on a booty call. I mean, come on. Listen, I'm just trying to be honest with y'all. Let me be your...
Right, Dr. Phil. It's easy to be charming on a booty call. Like, these women think that they're on par with the wives. Like, she's describing the first time that her and her married boyfriend made love, and she's making it sound so romantic. She's talking about the moon shining and the passionate kiss they had, and when they went to the back of the car, she just flew through the middle. It was so passionate and sexually charged, and she's trying to make it seem like it's romance. But you're having sex with the guy in the back seat of a car. He didn't even get you a hotel room. And she's really trying desperately to make this seem as if this is romance. I want you guys to hear the delusion of the other women. And like I said, we have different ones here. No, Monique, she looks like she's about in her late 30s, early 40s. Monique asks if she's in her 20s. Yeah, these women are delusional and naive, and they have very low self-esteem, and they don't think much of themselves, and they don't think much of their time. Time being the number one enemy of women. And they are just cavalierly wasting their time on men who are not available. But I'll continue.
Friend at the mail factory here. You don't have to clean up after him. You don't have to scrub his toilet. You don't have to empty his razor and clean up his sink. You don't have to go make the bed. You don't have to do anything. You don't share bills. You don't work out. You don't get told no. None of those things happen. You just meet him in the back seat.
It has replaced my identity, because now the affair is over because I came on the show. He's decided that
good for him. Good for him.
Because you're trying to do what? What threatens him about this?
He hasn't told me exactly, but I'm sure it's because of what I'm going to discover.
Because his wife's going to go, I know that woman.
I don't believe he's quitting you over this. You know that phone will ring again, and when it does, what are you going to do?
I honestly don't know.
Right back in the back seat. You know it as well as I do.
Well,
tell her, Dr. Phil.
That's the cycle I want to break.
But that's the cycle you've been in. Has he ever quit you before?
Yeah, several times. We've been through this vicious cycle for a year and a half.
Take a look at this.
Don't have any energy tonight. It was a horrible night. The married man called me, and he was crying and said, I just can't go on with this. Like, I can't. I don't know you. I don't understand you. And, you know, that hurts the worst, is for him to say that he never knew me, because then it makes me question myself. And everybody that sees this from the outside, they all say that there's no way that he's ever going to leave, because he would have by now.
So her marriage ended because her husband found out that she was dealing with somebody outside the marriage. And now she wants him to end his marriage and be with her, and he's not. And now that she's come onto the show, he's really done with her, because what's happening is she's blowing up his spot, y'all. You know, this is the reason why he's done with her, because she went on the Dr. Phil show and told all the business. Like, I wonder if she's stupid, or just, you know, her mama dropped her on her head, or, you know, something happened, because I mean, I'm listening to this and I know why he dumped her. And like Dr. Phil said, it's only temporary, because that phone is going to ring, and what is she going to do? She said, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know." You know what you're gonna do. Right back in that back seat, like Dr. Phil said. You're going right back in the back seat of that car. And it's mighty funny. And I don't know if I should feel good about this, but at least there is one black girl on the show. She's the most attractive one, by the way. And there's so far 3 white women. And the white women are having sex in the back seat of cars, and they're not getting nothing for it, and they're getting paid with a box of chocolates. So, hey, sisters, I don't like the fact that y'all out here doing it. I don't think it should be done at all, but y'all not looking as crazy as these white women. I say that much. But let me continue.
He's your soulmate.
Right. I mean, I know, but
so he's her soulmate too.
I mean, I don't know what he is to her.
Does he sleep with her?
He still sleeps in their bed.
But he doesn't have sex with her.
Well, he tells me he doesn't. I'm sure he does.
Of course he does.
I don't. I mean,
he says I don't. It's only you. It's just you. This is a wake-up call for women at home. Because let me tell you, women sometimes tell themselves that the other woman is some skank hooker that's got on a short skirt, bleach blonde hair, blah, 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 as opposed to somebody could be sitting next to them in a line at carpool or behind them in the line at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And, I guess you're hard to spot.
And Dr. Phil makes a really good point right here. And I want to expound on that. You guys can't see these women, but these women look like your regular girl next door, suburban housewives themselves. They look like suburban housewives themselves. They're very, very articulate. They're not ghetto. They're not loud. The black woman on the show, she's got on a black business suit. She looks very professional and well put together. She doesn't have different color hair in her head. She's slim. She looks like a spoiled little black girl suburbanite. So, like Dr. Phil says, this is a wake-up call to women because not all hoes look like hoes. These women look very, very conservative. They're not Instagram models, but they're doing whole shit. But I'll continue.
Oh, I'm definitely, I think, not someone you would assume would, be having an affair.
But do you?
I mean,
if you step back and look at this, I mean, I'm asking some hard questions about it now, and I'm obviously throwing the flag on you here.
Hey,
because I'm saying he's telling you what he wants you to hear, and you've convinced yourself that God provided you this soulmate. God, in His wisdom, said, "I believe I'll give you this other woman's husband." I believe that this is you're entitled to this man, so I'm going to circumvent this institution of marriage and provide this couple.
Coming up.
What is the thought process where a married woman with children goes on a website that is branded as married men looking for affairs?
And later.
I think these men that we are involved with are very insecure. I think every one of them are worthless.
You're saying anybody that does that's worthless, and you're climbing in the back seat with this worthless guy? Seriously, how low can the bar get?
We now return to Inside the Mind of a Mistress.
So the mistresses are sitting up here saying that the men are worthless because they're sleeping with them. How delusional, goodness, how crazy do you have to be to say that you're sleeping with somebody and they're worthless and they're trash because they're sleeping with you? It sounds to me the same way thing as when a man sleeps with a woman. And then when asked, well, hey, you've been messing around with this chick for a while, how come you ain't married her or, made her your wife or something? And he goes, oh, she's worthless, she's trash, she's for the streets. Okay, if she's worthless and she's trash and she's for the streets, what does that make you? You're getting in the bed with the trash. And so these mistresses are sitting up here, they're calling these men trash. But what are you? What did Pee Wee Herman said? I know you are, but what am I? Unbelievable. So, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I wish women would get it together. The reason why these men are able to do what they do is because of women. Women are the biggest enemy of other women. We are. Women, we are the reason why there are so many single women out here. The reason you're single is because of her. We break up marriages. We come in between people who are trying to get married. It's us. We're our own worst enemies. I mean, we can sit up here and point our finger at the men. But at the end of the day, we do each other the worst. And we think it's funny. We laugh about it. Oh, girl, I'm at the age now where I could either sleep with your daddy or I could sleep with your son. And we laugh. We think it's funny. We love to swing on the cups of whoredom and glorify it. And there's no glory at the end of the day. And this is what Dr. Phil is pointing out to these women, these delusional women. There's nothing good about what you're doing. The man is never going to leave his wife. You're going to continue to waste more and more years. And as Cluster B would say, your beauty bucks. And his life will go on unchanged. He'll be 50, 60 years old before he finally settles down for real, for real. And you will be serially single because you wasted your time waiting on him. How is this winning? But I'll continue.
Do you feel guilty about your involvement?
I absolutely do. I never thought why I was in the moment. All the families that I would have hurt, my family and his family. I had an affair with a married man and it ruined my marriage. I would look for attention from my husband and he would reject me. I felt.
So this is the fourth woman. And once again, she looks like she's about in her late 30s or 40s. These women are older and they know better. They're older and they know better. So she's married and she got into an affair with a man who was also married. And now she is crying on Dr. Phil. So let's hear her story.
Worthless. I felt that I didn't even matter. I heard about a website for married men and married women to connect. And that's why I met the married man. When I was getting ready to leave the house to meet my lover, I was excited, I was ecstatic, looking forward to the day, especially if it was an overnight trip, preparing, packing my suitcase. It was just pure excitement. We went to New York City for 3 days. He took me to my first Broadway show, which was amazing. We went to a souvenir shop and picked out my little boy a couple of trinkets from there just to symbolize New York City. My life has been a nightmare since my husband found out. My husband and my son are very angry with me. I'm afraid my son will never forgive me.
You're married now.
Yes, I am.
And you met him as part of an affair.
Yes, I did.
So you were having an affair with him while you were married to your husband.
My first husband.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so now you're married to this husband.
Yes.
And you've had another affair.
Yes.
So do you just have a problem with fence lines, or do you don't keep commitments, or what's the?
Why I wandered was because I felt unappreciated. Our intimacy had went to nothing. We sleep in separate rooms for years. I felt I wasn't wanted, and it was nice to have somebody to tell me, damn, you look good today, or boy, you look nice today, or did you do something different with your hair? My husband, I thought, didn't care. I thought in my mind, he didn't want me anymore, and I wanted to feel wanted.
Did you ever meet his wife? Did she ever confront you?
Yes, I got punched in the face by her, actually.
Really? Where was this? Where did it happen?
I was downtown at a bar. I was chatting with some women, and I had never met her before, and she came up, and she goes, you know who I am? I said, actually, I don't. And she stood up, and she punched me in the side of the face, and she goes, does so-and-so ring a bell? And I said, absolutely. It's done, and it's over.
Did you deserve to be punched?
Oh, I absolutely did. I did.
But you said if you hadn't got, and you're out of the affair now because you got caught.
Absolutely.
But if you didn't get caught, you'd still be in it.
Yes, I would.
And you think about doing it again.
Yes, I do.
I mean, to be honest, I mean.
Yes.
Okay, now see, you heard what she just said. She went on a website intentionally looking for a married man to sleep with. And then the man's wife finds out and sees her in the restaurant and approaches her and punches her in the face. And she's now sitting here right now after that saying that that's the only reason why she stopped was because she got caught. And it ruined her marriage. And she says she'd do it again. So while y'all sitting up here saying, oh, you know, you should just only focus on your husband or your boyfriend that cheated on you, this is the reason why I said, not so fast. This is these women sitting on this stage with Dr. Phil is the reason why I say this. This is why they get their ass beat. This is why the wives punch them in the face and drag them by their hair and all that other stuff. Because these women know exactly what they're doing, just like the husband knows exactly what he's doing. They both know what they're doing to you and your family, and they're disrespectful and they don't care. And I'm putting both of them together. I think that they both should get it. How come two things can't be true at the same time? Two things can be true at the same time. They can both get it. So for all of you women out there, that the ones that say, oh, you know, you shouldn't focus on the woman and all that other stuff. Like I said earlier in the first stream, I don't know if it was at this stream, but it was definitely said in the first stream that I did. There are some disrespectful ass women out here that won't let you just focus on your husband. It was between just you and your husband, like Dr. Phil said, until you put your high heel in the ring. And since you're in the ring, I'm going to tag team your ass too. But I'll continue.
I think about it all the time, but I know what this affair did to my family, and that's what holds me back. Because I never want to see what I did to my little boy or my husband again.
So what's your son think about this?
My son hates me.
Good for him.
So I know he loves me, but he doesn't like what I did.
And you went looking for this guy. You registered on a website to find this guy?
Yes, I did.
Take me through that thought process.
At that point in time in my life, I just thought there was nothing else, and I had heard about it on a TV show, And so I went to that website and I typed in my profile, who I was. In 3 days, I got a hit. Well, I got more than one hit, but this one gentleman stuck out the most. And we met down in my area, in a public area, because I was a little standoffish about the whole thing. And from that day on, we were inseparable.
But here, take me through this, and y'all can comment on this as well about your thought process. But I'm curious, what is the thought process where a married woman with children goes on a website that is branded as married men looking for affairs, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So you didn't just go out and let somebody kind of start flirting with you or hit on you. You went to find a married man, premeditated, found a married man, picked one out of the bunch, and off you went. So what you knew about him so far is he had a computer.
That's all I knew about him when I met him. I wanted to stay married and be with my kid. And I didn't want him to leave his living situation.
You should go back to the laws where you can be arrested for adultery. Some states you still can.
There was a price you paid for this, but yet you say you do it again.
In my mindset, I would.
Coming up.
They see you,
Right.
and they want you, and they'll do whatever they can until they get caught. And then you're like a leper.
I think every one of them are worthless.
You say they're worthless, they're gutless, they won't stand up. Give me some more.
We now return to Inside the Mind of a Mistress.
In the beginning, I did feel guilty about the married man's wife, but I no longer do.
I don't want to be the one responsible for breaking up a family.
I do feel guilty when I think about my married man's wife and family, which is why I may see him a couple of times a month tops.
I did feel guilty because they were a family, and if we ever got caught, it would destroy everything.
I often feel guilty. I would rather the other man make the decision to leave because he's unhappy and then come to me.
He just kept saying, if we're safe, we'll never get caught, so it doesn't matter. In hindsight, I know it's all about the sex. It's not the person I was or even the connection that we felt together, because he said he fell in love with me, and I did fall in love with him. And when we separated, it was a horrible thing for me. But he said he loved me and we couldn't continue any longer, and so on and so forth. But it's a man thing. It's a greedy thing, because he wants his cake and he wants to eat it too.
If he's coming to me for whatever reason he's coming for, and I honestly believe it's because, men like to be stroked. They like their ego pumped up. And, it's because he's missing something somewhere else. And yeah, he's 50% at fault for not getting her, explaining it to her, communicating in a way that he gets her to meet his needs.
Maybe he has. I'm sorry.
Perhaps maybe he has.
He's just greedy. He's just a very greedy, selfish person.
It's possible. I know
about these men.
It's about
They're all selfish.
They're greedy. They want what they can. They see you,
Right.
and they want you, and they'll do whatever they can until they get caught.
Oh, ain't this cute? So this is the mistresses doing a little mistress powwow to whine and complain. Ooh, these men are so horrible. They want you. They do whatever they can to get with you. But then when they get caught, you're like a leper to them. Oh, cry me a river. Who cares? Anyway, let me continue.
And then you're like a leper.
It's interesting that you've gravitated to these men, but then you just kind of tear them up. It's all about them. They want what they want. What are you saying?
Because I believe that a strong, secure man, there are men that do not do this. I think these men that we are involved with are very insecure. I think that they feed on us and our weakness because we're lacking something that we're trying to get from them. It's a reciprocal thing. And I think every one of them are worthless. Any man.
You're saying anybody that does that's worthless, and you're climbing in the back seat with this worthless guy?
And I'm worthless for doing that.
I mean, seriously, how low can the bar get? You say they're worthless, they're gutless, they won't stand up. Give me some more.
Yes,
put me in.
They are.
I want all of this on the table. A big part of this is a wake-up call. I don't know what y'all are going to do when you leave here. I really don't. I really don't. But I do want you to have had a frank and candid conversation looking at this from every point of view.
Still to come.
I'm going to fill those two chairs right now with two wives that have been cheated on by women like yourself. They've got questions for you, comments. You can ask questions and comments. So let's bring them out.
So now the wives come out. Wow. So guys, let me know what you guys are thinking so far. Please, down in the comment section so I can know, because this is crazy. What I'm hearing, I'm listening to this right along with you. My reaction is genuine. I have not watched this before. I am just looking at this and I'm just like, I cannot believe how utterly delusional women, we lie to ourselves. Can I just say that real quick? We lie to ourselves. I sat up here and I watched the black girl lie to herself and say that she was not in love with her married boyfriend. But at the same time, she forgot that she stated earlier that she did have feelings for him and didn't think that he was in a relationship at first. And he came out and just flat out told her that he had a wife and he wanted to see what he can do to keep their situation going. Now, she claims she's a businesswoman. She makes her own money. She doesn't need his money. Blah, 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 blah. And then she ends all that with, and I'm not in love with him. But you met him when you were 25. Now you're 30. You're going into 6 years with this guy, you say. 6 years. And you don't think that part of you, what do you guys call it? You call it imprinted. And Hash Dragon left something in my comment. He says DNA imprint. Shout out to Alexis K. Tyler. She said, don't let a man touch the bottom of your vagina. So imprinting is real. But she's in denial, stating that, it's just for money. And then when they say, oh, well, you're a whore. Oh, well, no, I'm not a whore, though. And I don't love him. She sounds crazy and she's all over the place. The black girl sounds really crazy and all over the place. I'm not a whore and I don't love him, but I can't get away from him. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? You wasted 5 years of your youth on a man that's not available. And now they're having this mistress powwow talking about it's all about the man. No, you have something to do with that too. See, for all the women that don't want women to focus on women, I need you to understand that we do have to focus on women. And this panel of women that Dr. Phil is talking to, these proud mistresses and side chicks, this is the reason why we have to focus on women. Because if we don't focus on women and each other and making ourselves a better class of women, if we don't create a better class of women, this is what we're going to be left with. And the lines are blurred. We don't know the whores from the classy women. Like I said, if you guys could see the women sitting in front of me, in front of Dr. Phil, they look like suburban housewives themselves. And two of them at least were suburban housewives. One of them specifically went on a dating site for married people to meet other married people. The other lady specifically got into a relationship with a man that was married. And both of them ruined their marriages. But we only want to focus on the men Yeah, I understand the whole thought process of, hey, this is your husband or this is your boyfriend, and you have to keep it to them. No, we have to keep it to all parties involved. Everybody has something to do with it. It wasn't just him. He couldn't do it by himself. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to drag that other accomplice along with him. They both need to be dragged. And marriages are a little bit different. I am not a proponent for people breaking up their marriages due to infidelity. I am a proponent, though, for breaking up the marriage for serial infidelity. But infidelity in and of itself, I would say no. Now, if it's something that it just seems like he just can't stop doing or won't stop doing, then yeah, it's serial. There's something else going on, and the problem lies with him. But infidelity in and of itself is a symptom of a larger problem that's wrong with the relationship. And usually those problems can be worked out. But the women that allow themselves to become side chicks and mistresses are a problem. And they're the reason why women are single mothers, having to raise children by themselves, because they're out here having these side babies, or they're breaking up marriages. And now the woman that was a wife is now a single mother because of you. So the same way that these men make single mothers, women can also make single mothers, by the way, by interfering in other relationships. And you make yourself a single mother by making stupid decisions. And being a side chick is definitely up there as one of the dumbest decisions any woman can make. But I'll continue.
What do y'all think about what you've been watching?
You sat there and said it's 50% the wife's fault.
No, it's not. It's 50% the other woman's.
Yeah, it's 50% the husband, 50% the other woman. If you know he's married, hey, you're married, you're off limits, get back.
Well, we've only just scratched the surface. What we've learned today
and
is
the
that
wives that he brought
on,
on, they're actually more attractive
your
than
next door
these
neighbor or the woman
side
standing
chicks.
in front of you in line at the.
Let me just segue real quick. He just brought the wives on. You can't see it, but the wives are actually more attractive than the side chicks. So this is why I said, sex is only one reason why men step out of the marriage. Just one. I think the main reason that men cheat on their wives is because they are bogged down with the business side of the marriage. Once again, shout out to Reaction Satisfaction again, who explained the difference between the business side of a relationship and the fun side. Because those mistresses, their dog, only one of them look good, and that's the black girl. But the rest of them, they don't look all that great. They look like old suburban housewives. The other ones. The actual wives look more attractive than the mistresses. So this tells you why these men are cheating. There's something going on in that marriage that they need to work out with their wives. And so they're not having fun with the wives anymore, and they're taking the fun side and they're making the fun side outside the marriage. They've separated. So the other woman being more beautiful, having that WAP, that WAP, which is really funny, by the way, because there was an article about Cardi B. She had did a concert on stage, and while she was twerking, her tampon fell out her vagina. It's so nasty. But yeah, Cardi B, you might want to tighten up the WAP, okay? Now we're gonna call it the LOP, the loose ass pussy, because ain't no way your tampon should be falling out if the WAP was tight. But I digress. Let me continue.
Grocery store. They don't necessarily match the stereotype that you may have had in your mind. Tomorrow we continue this eye-opening look into the mind of a mistress, where the mistresses come face to face with two scorned wives who have been watching backstage. We'll also meet Beth's husband, Rich, who had some harsh words for the rest of the mistresses. Take a look.
Tomorrow on an all-new Dr. Phil, the mistresses and wives come face to face.
You're having an affair with a married man.
I'm not proud of it.
Why would you go do that to another woman?
You don't have the right to destroy somebody's family.
And it gets personal.
Look her in the eye. You had a family, and because he wanted to be with somebody else, you're in the ditch.
My family was destroyed by the person I trusted the most in this world.
She has said she would do it again.
Then,
Your husband is here.
The day he found all the emails, he let my little boy read them to know his mother was a whore.
a scorned husband weighs
Damn,
in.
one of the mistresses' husbands
You're
showed up.
not the victim. Are you still mad at her?
I still can't trust her.
Why did you do it?
Because I thought I could get away with it. I didn't feel you loved me anymore.
That's an excuse.
It's lying. It's deceiving. The bottom line is, it's cheating.
That's tomorrow.
All right, I definitely will be tuning in for part 2. So that's the stream, guys. I wanted to leave you with more of my thoughts on side chicks reinventing themselves, trying to make it seem like it's acceptable to be a side chick. Let me plug up my headphone again for my ending. All right, let me hit my settings together. All right. So here's what I got to say about that. You know, side chicks are never, ever going to win in a scenario where they knowingly are trying to interrupt someone's marriage or relationship. The man has chosen to hide you, and he has chosen to make your relationship secret for a reason. And that reason being is because the woman that he is putting up front for his family and everybody, his business colleagues, everybody knows the main woman, his wife, the main woman, his fiance. Everybody knows who that is. He's shouting that from the rooftop and the rafters. He put his name on that. You're not going to be able to successfully get in between that. Now, there's some women who are successfully able to get into it, but it's rarely, and I say rarely, because the man left. In situations where a woman is successful in tearing apart a marriage, it's usually because the wife left. Usually. Now, there are rare instances where men do leave. I'm not saying that men don't leave, but it is rare. Most of the time, they are trying to keep their families together. They don't want to leave their wives. So it's better for you to just get somebody that is available. We had 4 mistresses on the Dr. Phil show, 4 of them. One of them older, chubbier, not very attractive, and she's in the back seat of the car having sex for chocolates. The second woman, she's a little bit younger. She met the guy when she was 25. She wasted 6 years of her youth. 6 years of her youth. And she claims that she's not a whore, but she's getting paid and getting all these expensive gifts. She claims that she's not in love with her married boyfriend, as they like to call them. But at the same time, she's been stuck in this relationship for 6 years and hasn't found anyone else. Then number 3, we have the married woman who got into a relationship with a guy. The guy was also married, and he thought it was convenient to be with her because they were both married. Her husband found out about the affair and left her. So then she thought that he should do the same thing in turn and leave his wife so they can finally be together. She was delusional. She thought that it was more than what it was, and it wasn't. And now her marriage is torn apart, but his life has not changed one bit. Then the last one, another married woman who intentionally went on a website to find another married man to have an affair with. And her husband found out about it and told their son. Let her son read the DMs so that he can know what a whore his mother is. And he promptly left her. And it tore her family and her life apart. It doesn't sound like any of these women have won. None of them. So if anybody's sitting out here today thinking that it might be a good idea to become a side chick, don't listen to these dumb men online who obviously have other ulterior motives for wanting you to sign up for that type of lifestyle. They will be the only people who benefit from it. They'll be in the background doing the happy dance while you're up front crying your eyes out. Woe is me, he's not leaving his wife yet. They'll be trying to get you to have a forced abortion because they don't want the fun side to turn into the business side. That's why. Shout out to Derek Jackson and the many women who he wanted to force to have an abortion. So it gets real, guys. It gets real. It is not the best decision. You are not winning. You're not doing anything. And only women with a poverty mindset thinks this way. And now you passport brothers know you don't have to go very far to find women with a poverty mindset. There's plenty of them here right in the United States. Just look at these two white women, two of them on the same stage that hopped in the back seat of cars to have sex and give BJs for boxes of chocolate or little or nothing but compliments. All it takes is for a woman to have low self-esteem and she's putty in your hands. All it takes is for a woman to see another woman happy and all she wants to do is make that woman just as miserable as she is. Some of you are having sex with women that just gave you the poom poom because she doesn't like your wife. Some of you are getting hate sex because the woman hates your wife. Or your girlfriend. Because you got that too. So women are vicious. I don't want to hear nothing out of another woman's mouth about, oh, leave the side chicks alone. Oh, you should only focus on your husband or your boyfriend. It's bullshit. You just heard I did 2 live streams, a part 1 and a part 2 about this. This is why we have to talk to other women. This is why there are women like Chantel and the Crimson Cure and Danica Marie and Six and all the rest of them. Sister George, Concrete Rose, women of that ilk. This is why they exist, to talk to other women, because we need a better class of women. I've been saying this for the longest. And some of you men don't support a better class of women because you need hoes. Let's just be honest. If all the women got self-esteem and became classy and carried themselves like women, it would be harder for a lot of you to get some random, unsolicited poom poom. You need the women to have low self-esteem. You need them to be dumb. You need them to have that bar set really, really low. So you'll be in the background dancing while the women are crying and pulling their hair out. We got to focus on the women. Got to change the mindset of low class behavior. And being a side chick is low class behavior. There's no two ways about it. There's no but, there's no and, there's nothing, no ifs, no ands, no buts about it. It's low class behavior. And I hope that the audio issues and the setup and all of that type of stuff. I got a struggle connection, y'all. It's been struggle city over here. I've been trying to get it together, but my connections and what I got going on has been struggle city. But I hope the message has been on point. And with that, I'm going to leave you guys with I love you. If you're listening to me on the replay, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button if you're listening to me right now. Share the video and also hit me up with the monetary support. If you're listening on the replay, hit me up the super thanks. And with that, I have to say peace. Love each and every one of you. And I am out of here. Holla.